Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers, and welcome to this week's episode of Your Lens, gathering videos across the globe for your viewing pleasure. Videos that will inspire and educate. Why do women wear the hijab? What is the reason behind this? Explaining Islam in a simplified way to non-Muslims is extremely important. In our first video, Sister Amina Asilmi discusses this concept beautifully.
Now, I had promised the young sisters that I would also go ahead and, because we're talking about how we can make an impact, the women, and one of the ways is that you have to be able to explain Islam in a way that they will understand. Okay? So one of the most important things they're always asked about is the rag on our heads. Why do we wear that thing? Okay? And, you know, I'm amazed. I ask Muslims, why do women cover their hair? And maybe 1 out of 99 gives the right answer. Now, if Muslims don't know why women wear this scarf, how do we expect non-Muslims to understand? Seriously. The Quran itself says why we cover our hair. What does the Quran say? To identify ourselves as being Muslim. That's number 1, that we would be recognized. We put this on. This is an act of truthfulness, all right, so that everybody will know that we are Muslim women. We want everyone to know that we are Muslim women. We are proud of being Muslim women. But then this says a lot, too. See, what this tells everyone who sees me is what stands before you is a woman of enormous strength, enormous courage and integrity. This woman will not lie. She will not cheat. She will not deceive. She will be the best employer, the best employee, the best friend, the best advisor, the best counselor. That's a Muslim woman. You can trust her. And it's a warning. Oh, yeah. It looks up here and it tells to everybody what stands before you is a woman who knows her worth. She knows her value. She is not a toy, so don't even try to play with her. This is a woman you take serious. See, my hijab lets people know straight up front that I want to be set apart from everyone else. I want you to know who I am, and this is what you have a right to expect from me, and this is what I will accept from you. Therefore, when you come near me, leave your profanity somewhere else. I will not hear it. When you come to me, don't tell me stories about someone else. I do not eat the flesh of my brother. This identifies me as being a Muslim woman. Now, the ayah goes further, and it says that you would not be molested. And some people have taken the word molested and turned it into rape. It has nothing to do with rape. Actually, rape has nothing to do with sexual attraction. Rape is an act of violence and hate and domination. Old women, ancient old women, even older than me, get raped. Okay? No matter what you wear, it doesn't matter because it has nothing to do with sex. They're not turned on. They're filled with hate. That's where rape comes from. It has nothing to do with sex. When it speaks of the protection comes from your attitude. Okay? Because I know what Allah has said about me. That I'm going to have what I call the Islamic attitude. I'm not a toy. I'm truth. I'm honesty. You can trust me. Okay? I take my attitude and I let you know. You don't go past this point with me. I don't accept that. That's my attitude. And that attitude makes everyone notice. I'll walk into a room where they're telling a dirty story and they stop because they know I won't tolerate it. So I have the Islamic attitude that lets people know what to expect from me. And at the same time, anyone who has trouble knows that they can come to me and talk to me about their problems, and that their problem will be safe, it'll be secure, and the guidance they get will be the best of guidance. Therefore, I do counseling not only of Muslims, but of non-Muslims, because they trust me. They know they can trust me. See, these little things, and they may sound like little things, but they really aren't. But you see the difference in the way that I explain them to you? Now, some people go, oof, they think this is horrible. But I don't think it is horrible. I think it's closer to the truth than what has been.
Our next video displays boxing legend Muhammad Ali explaining what he intends to do after he retires. The message is so powerful, coming from a powerful sporting icon.
I'd like to know what you're going to do when you retire from boxing.
I think he's probably taking the last count at the moment. I'll do my best to wake him up
Just
for
sleep.
you.
That's all I'm going to do.
That's all he wants to do when he retires.
Now, when I retire from boxing, I really don't know. I want to say something right here. This might make you all think. Life is not really long. Let's say the average person 30 years old. If you're 30 years old, you are not but about 7 years old. How can I prove it? Add up all the 7, 8, 9 hours you slept for 30 years. Out of 30 years, add up all the nights, last night when you went to bed and woke up this morning, you don't remember a thing. You've been unconscious for about 8 years. If you're 30 years old, you slept about 8 years. Okay. How much traveling have you done in 30 years? From the television station to home, to another country, to another city, to school, to church. You've probably traveled 2 years your life was spent just getting back and forth to where you're going. So there's 8 years of sleeping, 2 years of traveling. There's 30 years out of your life before you accomplish anything. How long do you sit in school? In America, we stay in school from the 12th grade from the 1st grade to 12th grade. Same here?
Yeah, virtually.
6 hours a day?
Yeah.
6 hours a day for 12 years, break it down, you sat in a classroom for 3 years without leaving. Okay, 2 years of traveling, 8 years of sleeping, 3 years of school. How many movies have you went to? How many wrestling matches? How much entertainment? How many movie theaters, live plays, baseball games? Probably 2 years of entertainment. So by the time a man, you older people know him, bear with us what I'm saying, by the time you have children, by the time you have made a way for your children, by the time you've paid for your home, you're pushing 60 years old. So life is real short. So you add up all your traveling, add up all your sleeping, add up all your school, add up all your entertainment, you've probably been half your life doing nothing. So what am I? I'm 35 years old. 30 more years, I'll be 65. We don't have no more influence. We can't do nothing much at 65. Your wife will tell you that. So what I'm saying, when you're 65, ain't too much more to do. So did you know I'll be 65 in 30 more years? In those 30 years, I have to sleep 9 years. I don't have 30 years of daylight. I have to travel back to America, take 6, 7 miles. All my traveling, probably 4 years of traveling in the next 30 years, about 9 years of sleeping, television, movies, entertainment, about 3 years of entertainment. Out of 30 years, I might have about 16 years to be productive. So it's how we can all break individual lives down. What am I going to do in the next 16 years? What's the best thing I can do? Get ready to meet God. Owning real estate, going in business, teaching boxers, that won't get me to heaven. How many here believe there's a supreme being, believe there's a God? How many believe there's some power that made the sun, the moon, the stars? How many believe that this stuff didn't just come out here? Somebody wiser than us made it. How many believe there's a God? How many believe there's not a God? All right. Believe there's not a God. All right. If I told you who don't believe in God, if I told you that this glass sprang into existence, this glass made itself, no man made this glass, would you believe it? Would you believe if I just told you this thing made itself?
No.
No. When I tell you, you wouldn't believe it, right?
No, somebody's doubting it, yeah, so
No,
I'm giving
I'm
you
just
the
saying,
answer. That's
she wouldn't believe it. If I told her this television station popped into existence. It just, no man made it. You said Muhammad Ali's crazy. All right. Well, if this glass can't make itself, if I told you those clothes you have on wove themselves, nobody created them, those clothes made themselves, you wouldn't believe it. But if your clothes didn't make itself, if that glass couldn't make itself, if this building didn't make itself, then how did the moon get out there? How did the stars and Jupiter, Neptune and Mars and the sun, how did nature, how did all this come here if didn't know why is something planning to make it? So what I'm saying is, I believe we're going to be judged. Should a man like Hitler kill all the Jews and get away with it? Somebody should punish him. Maybe he get it, don't get it now, he get it when he dies, in hell for eternity. So what I'm going to do when I get out of boxing is to get myself ready to meet God, because my plane might blow up. Don't planes blow up in this country sometime and crash? Don't people die every day?
Not every day.
It's a scary thing to think that I'm going to hell to burn eternally forever. So what am I going to do? Reason I'm taking I'm explaining what you asked me a question. You ask me questions, I can't just answer like that. When I get out of boxing or when I'm through, I'm going to do all I can to help people. That's why I'm here with Johnny Walker. Here's a poor man, came all the way to America. Here's a bunch of boys need some money, and somebody is calling me to help them. Because we live how long? 80 years? The odds are everybody in this room, some of you are going to be dead 20 years from now, some of you are going to be dead 50 years from now, some are going to be dead 60, 70 years from now. We all going to die soon. And if you live to be, say, 125 years old, which we don't do, right? Let's say we live to be 250, and you can have sex for 145 of those years. You're going to come to the end after that. So, we don't have but about 80 years on earth. This is a test to see where will we spend our life in heaven and hell. This is not the life now. Your real self is inside you. Your body gets old. Some of you go to look at the fridge, you don't have no teeth. Your hair is leaving you. Your bodies get tired. But your soul and your spirit never die. That's going to live forever. So your body is just housing your soul and spirit. So God is testing us on how we treat each other, how we live, to see where our real home be in heaven. So this physical stuff don't last for so long. So my car, this building is going to be here when the man who built it dead. There have been many kings and queens of England. They're all dead. After this one is gone, another one will come. So we don't stay here. We're just trustees. We don't own nothing. Even your children are not yours. If you think I'm lying, your wife is not yours. You die and come back a year later and go slip in your bedroom and see if your wife is by herself. See, you don't own your wife. You don't own I divorced my wife, you may have read about it, and my 4 children, they call another man daddy now. They don't see me no more. You don't own your children. You don't own your family. So what am I saying? The most important thing about life is what's going to happen when you die. Are you going to go to heaven or hell? And that's eternity. How long is eternity? Let's imagine. Take the Sahara Desert. There's a lot of sand on the Sahara Desert, right? Then imagine that 1 grain of sand represents 1,000 years, and when you in hell burning, when you die and go to hell, you're going to burn forever and ever and ever, no end. How long is that? Give you an idea how long eternity is. Take the Sahara Desert, and I told you to wait 1,000 years. And every 1,000 years, I want you to pick up a grain of sand until the desert is empty. Okay, wait 1,000 years, pick up the first grain. Wait another 1,000 years before you get the next grain. Keep that up until there's no more sand in the desert. Whew. You know how long America's not but 200 years old. We got 800 more years to go before 1,000. So it just scares me to think that I'm going to die one day and go to hell. I'm on an airplane that might blow up. I'm always traveling. And to go to hell and God is going to judge my soul. The police, I might kill people. I might rob people. The authorities might not catch me. The FBI, Scotland Yard might not catch me, but when I die, somebody's watching me and keeping count, and I can't get away, and I'm gonna burn forever and ever and ever. I'll go to heaven. So what am I gonna do when I'm through fighting? I only have 16 years to be productive, get myself ready to meet God and go to the best place. Don't that make sense?
Thank you.
What makes a successful marriage? Marriage is a contract which must be adhered to by both parties. Brother Hassanein Rajab Ali discusses the virtues within a marriage.
How many times we've made promises to people, or we have contracts with people. We've agreed on something, and then we back off. You know how bad it is to back off on a contract? It's like a marriage. You know why marriage is so important? It's a contract. I don't care if your wife is not good, or your husband's not good. It's a contract, and you respect it. When you marry a person, male or female, that woman who's giving herself to you, and that man who's giving himself to her, it's a contract. Sure, it's not rosy. No marriage dares to be rosy. I remember when I got married, the first thing I said, even in my marriage night, I said, I do not believe my marriage has a golden path. It's my spouse and I that will build the golden path together through trials and tribulations. Otherwise, there is no golden path. Don't fool yourselves of thinking of some rosy idea of a prince kissing a princess and they lived happily ever after. It's fictitious. It's not true. It doesn't exist. So we have problems. Who doesn't have problems? Unless you are super pious on both sides, you minimize those problems. But it's a contract. And there's a beauty to the contract. That once you stick with it, you stick with it till death. Unless you have to break it, it's not working. This is where divorce comes into play. Otherwise, you live with it thick and thin. It's a contract. Just like a business, it's a contract. The admiration of a couple is when they both adhere to the contract. Believe me, Allah has built a system that if husband and wife from two parts of the world, if they adhere to the contract of Allah and they put Allah as their sign, وَمِنْ آيَاتِي أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَّوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Of His signs is He made mates from yourselves. It's a contract. If you don't keep this contract, and you violate, where you leave your wife behind and you seek another woman out there, you're violating a contract. So no, it's my right. I can marry another. No, it's not our right, brothers. I specifically say to the brothers, it is not our right. This is wrong. You think our women are objects? No, they're passionate and compassionate. And sisters too, who are married, who are busy talking to other men. Haram. It's a contract, brothers and sisters. And don't think it's a limitation. It's where growth takes place. Believe me, any other way is a limitation. Contract, hold on to it. And argue with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say, oh Allah, please, رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. Put love between us and make them beautiful to our eyes and our children too. And make us leaders among the pious. This is a great dua to read. If the husband and wife read it, impossible for the two to fight. Impossible, because they're parallel lines now. Because they're both going towards Allah. And they will understand. See? رُحَمَاءُ بَيْنَهُمْ. They are merciful with each other.
Why would a non-Muslim woman decide to wear the hijab? Let's find out by viewing our next video.
Beauty in our culture is narrowly defined as generally a prepubescent, plastic-looking waif, stick insect. Very few women in this country fit into that narrow frame. And if they do, at any given time of their life, they will likely outgrow it. For health reasons at the very least. And if women were to cover more, if women were to believe it's okay to cover more, and this is going to sound crazy, but for a long time I was uncomfortable wearing the clothes that stores sold. The pants were cut too low, they were too tight, the shirts didn't fit properly, they were too short, they were too tight, they were too low cut, and I always felt self-conscious. I always felt I needed to tug something down or pin something up, but I had no idea what else I was supposed to be wearing. I didn't know what else was out there. more women were allowed to feel comfortable covering up more, I think people would be less obsessed about their body shape. And instead of making poor health decisions based on what will make me skinny, what will make me fit in, they'll start to think about what will make me feel better inside, what will make me healthy instead of skinny. That would be a great thing, I think. It helps me not be objectified. Now I realize it's all a matter of how you think of yourself, but a lot of women are objectified, especially young women. I'm in my early 20s, and we are objectified. I see it every day at class. Guys who seem like healthy, intelligent young men hooting at a young woman who is simply walking into class. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And yes, men need to be accountable for their own actions, not blame it on what a woman is wearing. Thank you very much. Just wanted to get that out there. But I know that when I'm completely covered, I feel like people focus in on my face and not anything else. And they're more likely to listen to my words than watch my body language. And I am an anxious person, so times I fiddle a lot, but when I'm completely covered, people tend to stare at my face instead of at my twiddling hands or my tapping foot, etc. Okay. What else can I think of? There's a lot of things I want to say, and I don't want to run out of time. I've done this 3 takes now, so I've recorded myself explaining this 3 times, and every time I've gone out of time, so I'm going to try to keep it short. Recap, not Muslim, but I do enjoy the benefits of wearing hijab in terms of I feel more comfortable wearing hijab physically, and in terms of health, it helps me not wear as much sunblock but still keep safe from sunburns, skin cancer, that kind of thing. And I just take less time stressing out about how my hair looks or how, my body looks, etc. I'm sure that I'm going to do another video on this because there's a whole bunch more that I want to talk about. But for now, I think that's fine. I don't want to run out of time.
Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again on the next episode of Your Lens. Remember, if you have any videos you would like to share with us, then email us at www.ahlulbayt.tv/yourlens.
ورفعت كفي نحو عطفك